Good day and welcome to Asset TV. My name is Zama Zulu and we are at the Prescient Investment Management Infrastructure Conference in Johannesburg. And I'm joined here by Mike Adsetts, who is the Global Chief Investment Officer at Momentum Investments. Welcome, Mike. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Zama. Always great to spend some time with you.
So we heard from the Infrastructure South Africa earlier in the keynote address about a gap of about 1.6 trillion rand that needs to be met by the end of 2030, which is less than 5 years away. So we don't really have much time. Now, as a key individual within a multi-management business, what role do you believe multi-managers in general could play in ramping up the allocations to infrastructure investments in general?
So I think the multi-manager sits at the confluence of a lot of stakeholders. So you've got the client side, who needs to gain an understanding of the types of infrastructure investment that can be made and the rationale for that. You know, from a multi-management side perspective, to understand the opportunity set and how to allocate capital, and then work with the underlying asset managers and infrastructure managers to make sure that you bring all the parties together, because clearly there's a big need for infrastructure. There is underinvestment in infrastructure, and the underinvestment is a consequence of not bridging that gap between what the clients want and the outcomes they're looking for, and the ability to leverage that capital at an underlying level. So part of it is education, part of it is refining the types of infrastructure we're interested in, and also sitting with the asset managers and saying, this is the kind of return profile and this is the nature of the infrastructure investments that we are interested in and that our clients will want to make an allocation to.
All right, so you mentioned things like returns. What about other factors that maybe come into this? Things like liquidity, costs. What are your views on that?
So I think first and foremost, you've got to start with the investment thesis. So you need to understand, an investor wants to know two things. They want to know what return they can expect. And especially when you're looking at a type of investment that is illiquid or unlisted in nature, you want to know when you're going to get your capital back, and you want to implement it in a cost-effective way. So what you want to try and do is understand the return profile. Ultimately, we're delivering outcomes and performance for clients, and we need to deliver the performance. We need to understand the mechanism by which and the length of time we're going to allocate the capital and when it can come back. And also, we don't want to erode too much of the performance that we give to our clients through high fees. So the fee level has to be appropriate for the complexity of the investment and to make it worth the while of the asset managers to pursue the investments, but also not so prohibitively expensive that clients are, you know what, we'll just allocate somewhere else in a listed market where it is more cost effective for us to do it.
All right, no, thank you so much for sharing your insights on that. And that's all we have time for now, and that was Mike Adsetts, Global Chief Investment Officer from Momentum Investments.